Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you just a full-on view of this formal living room space in connection with the dining room, since I already shared what changes I made in the dining room from spring and summer to the fall season. I am going to do something a little bit different for winter, so most of the decor that you'll be seeing between the summer and the fall look will more than likely be switched out completely for the winter season. The reason why I decided to do this space in a full-on view today is for two reasons. I wanted to kind of speak to something that I mentioned in my previous video, which is when I decorate for seasons, I try to decorate in a way where I can easily transition from season to season without having to make huge changes. So I think I was able to achieve that and easily get the fall look in this space without doing much of anything. I just made some minor changes with that. And then the other thing that I wanted to discuss was open floor plans, just to share a couple of things that I myself really love about an open floor plan. You hear so many people giving their opinions on it. And to be honest with you, lately, I've been hearing a lot of people say they wish open floor plans would go away. A lot of people are feeling like they want their spaces to be a little bit more sectioned off. And me, I'm actually still really enjoying and loving that open floor plan vibe. And so I'll give a couple of reasons as to why I like it, a few things that I noticed about the way this floor plan was done, and touch on a few cons that I have seen mentioned a time or two in the home decor community when it comes to open floor plans. All right, so the first thing that I want to touch on here, you'll notice that the rug is very different from what I had here before. I actually had a 2x7 foot runner here because I really wanted to bring attention to the walkway coming in, and I did not want to combine both this space and the space over there. I really wanted to define the entryway as much as I could. And I also wanted it to feel a little bit more open with a runner. More of the floor underneath was seen, and it just didn't feel as cozy. So this time I decided to switch up the rug, go with something a little bit more graphic and a little bit more bold with design, and go with a larger size. So it doesn't necessarily pull the eyes further in, but it does say, hey, look at me, and it makes the space feel very comfy and cozy. So I do love that. That was really the only change that I made here, outside of bringing in some additional stems to kind of tuck down into this centerpiece here on the console. Everything else stayed the same. I really love this rug. I am going to put the link to this in the description box. I was looking for something that was not expensive by any means, and something that I felt like I would be able to use in another space. This I was going to use in the laundry room because I am working on that. But I tried it out over here, and I decided that because it gave a little bit more of a cozy look, that this would be the better spot for it. This is a 4x6 rug that offers quite a bit more when it comes to texture, and then also the color and the print. It definitely says all eyes on me, and I think it matches well with what's going on with the art piece, and it just gives some additional visual interest here. So I think this area here was pretty easy to make the change to from spring and summer to the fall season. So now when it comes to the space in here, I already had out these glass vases with the green stems and the wood-like sticks in them. I decided to bring in these florals, which I think are very pretty. These are like capis, I think that's what they call them. They offer a little bit of movement. I really do like that about these. And I love the look of them. They have a slight sheen to them. and almost like a translucent look to them, but a sheen at the same time. I did not make any real changes with the coffee table besides flipping the coffee table book that I have here open to another page. And this page, I think, matches with the color of the brass and the golds that we have going on in here, which is very, very slight. This is my Tina Turner book, by the way. So I was a fan of Tina Turner when I was growing up. I used to love myself some Tina Turner. So when I came across her book, I'm not the biggest fan of coffee table books that don't offer a lot of different things to look at. And when I started going through her book, there's a ton of just different things. There's artwork that's like sketch drawing. There's real life photos of her. There's pages with quotes. There's blank pages. There's beautiful scenery, be it in the desert, be it in a beach-like setting, Mediterranean settings. So just a ton of different things that I could flip to and get some different artwork here on the coffee table. As far as my books underneath, I decided to let those stay because I do have some black accents going on in the dining room area. And as far as this love seat goes, I didn't change a thing about it besides, I think I bought this throw blanket in because it wasn't there before, but it's a little bit heavier, it's a little bit thicker. So I bought that in, and then I also switched out these pillows. These pillows used to sit in the high back chairs that I moved from this room to the dining room, and I really love that they're sitting in the dining room now. I did bring in these hide-like ottomans. These feel a lot more cozy and definitely feel like they work better for the space. So I just changed out a few simple things, and I think it just works perfectly. Now, I do have one more thing that'll be coming for the space, and I thought it would be here already, and it's not. So I wanted to go ahead and get this filmed, and when it comes, I will definitely be sharing that with you. But it is just going to add to the look that's already in here, and gonna give some additional texture and feel to the space. Moving on really quick, I want to touch on the whole open floor plan deal. The living room and the dining room here, I have loved the fact that this has been an open area, but it is kind of separated a little bit by these walls that provide almost the look of a column on both sides, where you know that you're moving from one space to the next. So here are my first couple of thoughts about the open floor plan. One, right now, I echo just a little bit in here. I don't know if that's picking up on the mic, but I've read where and heard, a lot of people discuss how they don't like the echo that comes from an open floor plan. And I will say, for me, the reason why there is an echo in this room is because the ceilings are very high. So not only is it an open floor plan, but it also has incredibly high ceilings. I'm going to say they're probably about 20 feet. So they're pretty high. And that's why the echoing is there. I'm going to take you in and just give you a quick look again of the open floor plan in the other part of the house. And there's no echoing in that room. And the reason why there's no echoing in that entire space is because the ceilings are only 10 feet high. The echoing comes from the openness of the ceiling and not necessarily the openness of the floor plan itself. The next thing that I want to highlight about this open floor plan is the fact that this one, to me, is a partial open. And that is because you have the wall and the doorway casing here, where it's more like just a big opening and not necessarily doors. But it breaks up the space and gives you that fine break between two spaces. So immediately you're moving from one room to the next. In the other area, there is no columns, there is no wall break there, so it is all just completely open. And then the other thing that I want to share really quick is that the open floor plan helps the space feel less tight. What I mean by that is this house is one where when you walk into the house, you walk directly into this area in here. So when you walk in or when the door opens, this is what you see. So that was one of the reasons that I really wanted to pay special attention to the entryway and try to make sure that it was one that was defined. If walls would have been added to the space, then I definitely think that this area would feel a lot tighter, a lot smaller. A lot of people think that this house is a lot larger than it really is. And that is because of the special attention that they paid to where they're going to place walls, where they're going to have the space open at, where they're going to have high ceilings at, where they're going to have 10-foot ceilings, 8-foot ceilings. All of that stuff matters. And when I first started purchasing homes and going to look at homes, those were not some of the things that I immediately thought about, but we've lived in several homes over the years, over the course of 20 something years. And this is by far, I think, one of the best designed homes that I think I have ever lived in. I think they paid special attention to certain areas to help make sure it had a really nice flow to it. With this area, because you walk right into the living room, had there been a wall placed there and had these ceilings been a lot lower, this would have felt so tight. So when we were looking for houses, my previous home and this home, one of the things that I really wanted was to have an entryway that was open. And I would have loved to have had one that was off from the living room area, but both times I didn't get that. But this time, the ceilings are incredibly high over both the entryway and this area, so it opens up the space tremendously. It doesn't make it feel very tight, it feels very open, and it just feels like it's a big space, but in actuality, it's not that huge. In this room, they dropped the ceiling, and so while all of this was open in this area, they dropped the ceiling to give the dining room a more intimate feeling. And so I just thought that they carefully thought about that and made a really great decision in doing things that way, because this actually feels like a cozy dining room, but at the same time you can lighten things up by having low furniture pieces in here, which is what I did before I bought in my high back chairs. I made sure that I had low seating because the ceilings weren't as high. And so paying particular attention to all of that stuff definitely helps out. If you have high back chairs and your ceilings are the typical 8 feet, 9-foot ceilings, 10-foot ceilings, it does kind of shrink the room a little bit. So if you go low with your furniture, it helps expand it more. And so in this space in here, I also went low with the chair here. I went low with the swivels over there, and I was high with the high backs because they were in front of the large window over there, and it definitely did not feel like it was shrinking the space at all. But now that I've moved the high backs into this area, it has made this feel a lot more tighter and cozier, and that area over there is opened up tremendously. Coming to this particular area here, you can see this is a huge open floor plan. I will take the measurements of this space once I finish up my video here, but from that end of the cabinets all the way to the other end where the fireplace is, I'll do some measurements and throw it in the video so you can see just how long the space is. But there is zero echo in this room. And the reason being is because the ceilings are all a lot lower, but they're not the average height ceiling of, say, 8 feet or 9 feet. These are 10-foot ceilings. And I love that about them because they do help the space feel very open, but at the same time, they provide some intimacy for the space. When I first walked in the front doors, the room that we just left, I looked around and I went, oh my God, they're just walking in and it having somewhat of a grand feel to it. I've been looking for that for some years now. And so when I walked into this one, I thought, this is it. I like this. But it wasn't until I made the walk to this area and I rounded the corner and I saw the crazy potential from this entire space. It is an entertainer's delight. So one of the things that I really love about this floor plan is not only that it just provides all of this openness, but they made sure to line the back of the house with big windows in the kitchen, a big sliding door, and then also big windows in the family room area. The windows are about half, more than half the size of the wall. So they're very large and they provide a ton of natural light. I am a huge fan of natural light. So being able to have natural light throughout this entire space, just, I love it. I absolutely love it. So if you're able to create a nice little oasis in your backyard, if you're able to create some moments, some visual moments in your backyard, having these windows and that view just adds to the vibe of the space. So I absolutely love it. We lined our trees that we have out back, we lined them with some nice little solar lights. We wrap the trees with them. So at nighttime, when the curtains and the blinds are open, we can see the light from the trees. It's just, I love it. It's a whole entire vibe, and I'm a huge fan of it. And the other thing that I want to discuss really quick, which you've seen this in the last video where I did the fall look in the space, but you can zone your spaces. Do a little bit of space planning and zone your spaces. Now, this table, I would have gone with something a little bit different, but I felt like this table actually worked the best in here. This is a table that we've had with us for the last maybe 10, maybe a little bit more in years. And so I just wasn't ready to get rid of it. And it just worked better in this space. So I bought this table in here. So we have a nice sit down area. And then we also have the food preparation area there on the kitchen island, which is just perfect. We ended up with this kitchen island that did not have an area for bar stools. I was pretty pleased because I'm not the biggest fan of having bar stools around my island. I'm not the biggest fan of wanting to eat around my island. So this was, for somebody like me, perfect. There is a lot of prep space for cooking, and I have found that we have done a lot more baking in this house. We've done a lot more trying new recipes. And could be because the internet is ablaze now and you can just find all these crazy fun recipes that seem like they might be good, so you decide you want to try them. And just a lot of creativity and stuff out there now where it's fun to try new things. And so the mister loves to get in here and try new dishes, and I welcome that. Try not to welcome it too much, but I do welcome that. So I love that he likes to get in here and do this. So he has plenty of space to prep whatever it is that he's making. So the other thing, when it comes to zoning, I was able to create us a small seating area as well. And this is one of our favorite places on the daily right here. And there's several seating. We sit, we chat, we talk. This is on the weekends if you want to do a little bit of morning and reading. That's done right here. In the evenings after you've had a long day at work and you just want to chill and relax. You don't necessarily want to be in the area where the television is. Although the television is right there, you don't necessarily have to be in that area. And if somebody is over there watching television, you don't feel like the both of you are like in the same space. So yes, you can hear the television, but there's still a little bit of that separation there that I 1000% love. And then when it comes to the area where the television is, immediately knew that I wanted to keep the sectional that we had. And I knew that this sectional would provide a nice separation between what was happening over here and then what's happening over here and what's happening over there. So this sectional, you can go with, I think the space is large enough where you can go with a rounded sectional, but for this area, I love having this right angle style sectional because I think it sections it off very well. And then it has somewhat of a nice size back to it. And then the pillows give a little bit more height, and it definitely separates the two spaces from each other. This open floor plan and the vibe that it gives, it is so amazing and so perfect. I would not change a thing. Now, I want to point out that you will notice in this floor plan, instead of us having to put the television there over the fireplace, they gave us a nook where we could put the television back in there. So when you walk into this area, you don't see the television. So you don't even know that the television is in here, but you just assume that there's a television in here. So I love that about it. Now, I haven't put a light piece up here yet, but my plan is to put a light fixture up there. I 1000% love this floor plan. I think they did a phenomenal job. When it comes to having gatherings in the kitchen, I have loved being able to have all of those things readily available for my guests, and not feel like I'm closed off from them. So I actually really love having this open floor plan. It is one of those things that I immediately fell in love with about this house when we first walked into it. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on what I love about the open floor plan that we have here. And, you know, if I had the opportunity to get another spot with an open floor plan, I most definitely would. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope that some of the things that I have shared here in regards to our open floor plan served as some good inspo for you. And you also got a chance to see the fall decor between that particular area and the area in here. I'll mention before I hop off of here, I knew that I was going with a nice pop of color in this area. I knew I was going to go with more of the brown leaves and the stronger fall look. I wanted to keep things pretty simple in that area up there, and I wanted to ease into the fall look up there and then just kind of have a bit of an explosion with the fall back here. And I think it turned out the way I had envisioned it in my head. And I love it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'll throw some links in the description box of some of the items you haven't seen, like my swivel chairs in here and then my swivel chairs in the other area. And yeah, I hope that you guys found some inspo here. And again, thank you for stopping by my channel. I am Key from House of Kiana over on Instagram. I'm also the owner of the blog Affordable Luxe Living, found at www.affordableluxeliving.com, where casual comfort meets style, affordability, and creativity. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and then share with others so that they may find me here in the community. Bye now.